Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Soil Institute of Management. I'm Shraddha, pursuing PGDM at Soil. Today's discussion is titled as Career Transitions After 1 Year of MBA. The focus of our discussion is not just on outcomes, but on the process of transition, how professionals rethink their direction, they build their new capabilities, and build into the roles that are meaningfully different from what and where they started. A 1 year MBA is often chosen by professionals who are looking for a decisive shift with a short and intensive career academic window. What we aim to unpack today is how that shift actually happens during the program, what choices matter, what the preparation looks like, and what trade offs are involved. We are delighted to have joined us by Mr. Kavesh Pandit from the PGPM Marketing and Analytics program at SOIL. Kavesh entered the program with a prior experience in technology and system engineering during the course of the PGPM, transitioned into a consulting oriented analytics role. He is currently placed as a senior analyst at Accenture. Through this conversation, we'll explore his decision to pivot, how he prepared during the program, and what aspirants should realistically expect if they are considering similar career transition. The session will be a moderated discussion about of 30 minutes, followed by a Q&A session of 20 minutes. Welcome, Kavesh. Do you have anything to address to the audiences today? How are you feeling and everything?
Hi Shraddha, thanks for the introduction. I'm good. I'm feeling well. Yes, as you said, I'm a student of the 1 year PGPM program here in Soil Gurgaon, and I'm very happy to uh, talk about the program and take any questions if there are any.
Sure. Let's just begin. So we'll start with getting to know your journey of soil, and before that, you entered the PGPM with a strong background in technology. So what made you realize that you needed a role transition, a role level transition, rather than just a change of organization?
So before my MBA, I was working in a technology role, and I was doing fairly well. But over time, I realized that most of the work started only after important decisions had already been taken. I was mainly executing tasks and not shaping the problem or influencing the direction. Even if I had changed companies, I would still be doing a similar kind of role. What I really wanted was to be involved earlier, understanding the business problem, discussing options with stakeholders, and helping decide what should be done and not just how. That kind of shift doesn't happen through a company change. It requires a role change, which is why I decided to pursue an MBA or a PGPM in soil.
All right, that's very useful actually, and that builds on to my next question. That is, at that point, why did you choose a 1 year PGPM in marketing and analytics specifically as the vehicle for transition instead of a longer MBA or any purely technical upskilling route?
So I was quite clear that I didn't want to explore for 2 years. I wanted to change direction quickly and with focus. A longer MBA felt unnecessary because I already knew what kind of transition I wanted. On the other hand, only doing a technical upskilling would have made me better at execution, but not at better business decision making. The 1 year program, PGPM here worked well because it's fast paced and very practical. You don't have time to delay or stay confused. The program pushes you to act, learn, and prepare from day one.
All right. That brings us to our next question, which is on building on towards the transition of analytics and consulting role. So the question is, the senior analyst role as Accenture demands structured thinking, strong data interpretation, and business context. So which aspects of the PGPM program helped you develop these capabilities most effectively?
So the biggest help came from case-based learning and live projects. Cases taught me how to break down messy business problems into clear steps and think logically under time pressure. Live projects helped me understand real-world constraints like limited data, changing requirements, and client expectations. Classroom discussions were also very valuable because students come from different backgrounds. Hearing their perspectives helped me look beyond a purely technical mindset and think more like a business professional.
All right, that's very insightful. Thank you so much. Our next question is, how did you reposition your prior systems engineering experience so that it become relevant and valuable for a consulting oriented analytics role at Accenture?
So initially, I used to explain my experience in very technical terms. I was a systems engineer in Infosys, and I was working on Oracle Transportation Management Cloud, which didn't connect very well with the consulting roles. Over time, I learned to focus more on problem solving rather than tools. I spoke about how I analyzed issues, handled dependencies, managed timelines, and communicated with different stakeholders. Once I started explaining my work in terms of business impact and decision making, my previous experience became a relevant thing instead of a limitation.
Okay. Can you share any example or any incident that you might have encountered while either preparing for the interview, or how are you, justifying your prior experience as for the current role, etc.?
So one example I can give is that we used to have SLAs or date like time limits in solving our tickets in Infosys. So instead of just saying that I solved a lot of problems, I helped in giving them a measurable impact that I made. I used to tell them that I handled all the tickets and they were under 95%. 95% of them were under the SLA time limit, or I just gave them an impactful, measurable outcome.
So I think I can understand that quantifying or uh, attaching data to your experience and justifying it is what really helped you to, crack the role, etc.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
All right. That brings us to our next question. That is, during your preparation, what mattered more, analytics tool or the frameworks or the concepts that you studied, or case discussions or communication or strategic or stakeholder thinking?
So tools and frameworks are important, but they are expected from everyone. What really makes a difference is communication. How clearly you can explain your thinking, how you justify your assumptions, and how well you understand the business context. In interviews, were less interested in knowing how many tools I knew and more interested in knowing how I thought and how I explained my approach. That I feel. Uh,
So what made you different? Like what distinguished you from your peers? I am sure that there must have been a lot of competitions for the Accenture. So what made it different?
so the Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
So I'm asking what made your approach different from your peers?
So, in my interview, I just explained whatever assumptions I was making. Like I was given problem, like on the spot, I had to give some guesstim. I had some guesstimates to be answered. So I told what assumptions I was making and how I justified them and how I applied the assumptions in the business context. So I think that made a difference in the interview, in the Accenture interview.
All right. Thank you. My next question is, during the selection process for the senior analyst role, what kind of questions or assessments challenged you the most?
So the most challenging part was staying structured and calm when faced with unfamiliar questions. Interviewers often gave open-ended problems to see how I would approach them, not whether I knew the exact answer. Learning to slow down, asking clarifying questions, and explaining my thinking step by step helped me perform better.
All right. My next question for you is, from your observation, what differentiated candidates who were truly ready for the consulting roles from those who struggled to convert the opportunities?
So, candidates who converted roles had a clear story. They could explain why they wanted to move into consulting or analytics and how their background supported that decision. Those who struggled often focused too much on certificates or tools, but could not clearly connect their past experience to the role they were applying for. Clarity and consistency mattered more than having a perfect profile.
All right. So, do you have any tips to, give into our audiences, and what road path or what roadmap you followed?
So we have CDS sessions here, career development sessions here, and I feel if you attend them regularly and work hard and give a lot of mock interviews and do a lot of case-based problems beforehand, you will have an upper hand in the placement process. That's the advice I would like to give.
All right, thank you. My next question is, what is one common misconception aspirants have about transitioning into analytics or consulting roles through a one-year MBA?
So many people believe that once you join a good program, the transition will automatically happen. But in reality, the program creates opportunities, but it's up to the student to use them well. The 1 year format is intense, and so how you proactively approach it and take it in your stride, that really matters.
Can you give an insight about your one-year MBA journey at Soil and what, like, when you entered and what changed in the 1 year? Like any minute detail or any particular incident that changed and that made an impact on you?
So in my 1 year program, it's still ongoing. So I have improved. I have benefited from a lot of guest lectures from our social innovation program, the NGO program, and also the Himalayan retreat in Sidbari. So I feel that the academic interaction week. So we have a lot of industry exposure here, and the professors or the lecturers here are very well exposed with the industry trends. So I feel that helped me a lot in my journey here in soil.
Alright. So before entering or while making a decision to enter Soil and pursue a one-year MBA, were you a little hesitant or was there any internal hesitation that you must have been facing, and like what made that reassurance that you're ready for an MBA?
So so like I said before about my role in Infosys, if you're in a technical role or in any role, and uh, you're in the how process. I mean, you know what to do, how to do it, but you don't know why to do it. So if you want to make that transition from how to do it to why to do it or what to do, so if you're sure that you want to make that transition and you're ready for it and you want to gain more responsibilities in your role, then I feel you should go for an MBA, and that's what happened with me. I was already in the execution part, but I wanted to be in the decision making part now. So that's why I thought of the transition and doing MBA.
All right, that was really great. Which skill took you the highest and the longest time for you to get comfortable with it during your one-year MBA journey?
With skill, so I'm since I'm a part of the marketing cohort, I can tell you about I'll tell you about the different uh, uh, subjects that we have here. So consumer behavior was one. I feel that it definitely helps you get into the mind of the consumer, and so that helps you think about the product or the service. So one is consumer behavior. Other than that, analytics subjects that helped me a lot were optimization techniques. So I was already good in tech, but I wanted to polish my skills also so that in case there's a there's a hybrid role, I should be ready for that. So I feel that these two, three subjects were the best skills that I got during my 1 year over here.
All right. My next question for you is, what would you advise the candidates to start doing before joining the program if they want to make such a transition realistic?
So before joining, candidates should clearly understand what different roles actually involve and not just the job titles. They should also start building basic structured thinking, reading business news, understanding how companies make decisions, and practicing simple case questions. Most importantly, they should come with a clear intention. A 1 year MBA gives you a lot, but only if you know what you want from it. So you should be clear about what you want from your MBA program, and you should have these two, three things that I mentioned, like structured thinking, and you should know how companies make decisions, and also a little bit of case. solving abilities.
All right. My next question for you is, did recruiters value your technical depth or your business thinking more?
So I have joined an Accenture Technology, and my role is application outsourcing and mobilization. I'm in the application outsourcing and mobilization team. So it was a mix of both. Like it was technology is a good tech, having tech skills is a good to have, not a necessary, but it's just a good to have. But having that business acumen is very important, and that's where soil steps in, and that's where you get your money's worth.
All right. What feedback from interviewers helped you refine your pitch? Like, I'm sure you must have gotten feedback on your mock interviews from the CDS team. So, what feedback really helped for you? And you worked on that.
So yes, we had mock interviews from different like lecturers and industry experts also. The feedback that I got was that there are a few questions that you have to be ready with at any moment of time, like 7, 8 basic questions. Why do you want this role? You should be why this job description? Uh, what is your aim for the next 5 years? Then why have you chosen this program, whichever cohort you're joining, marketing or analytics or finance or whatever? So, and also you should have at least general awareness about what's going on in the market so that uh, you can at least communicate well with your interviewee and you don't get stuck. So this was the feedback that I got, that please work on the basic questions and also the general awareness and problem solving skills.
All right. Um, I have another question that in interviews like these, there are a lot of behavioral questions also, a lot of situation based questions also. So, how do you answer, how do you tackle and, face those questions at that very moment because they really trigger your, like, how you work under pressure in these situations? So,
So the only way you can handle these questions is by practice. Like I got one example I can give, a small situation-based question. In my interview in Accenture, I was asked, what if you get this job, you join the company, and when once you join the company, you don't get any communication, like your manager doesn't communicate, hasn't told you anything, or you don't have any instruction from the HR, then what do you do? Who do you approach, or who do you uh, go to with this problem with? So what I told them is, what you can do is, in most of the companies nowadays, this is just an example. In most of the companies nowadays, in the Teams app, you have your organizational structure, and you can see who's your immediate supervisor, or who's your HR, or who's your manager. In the case that no one's approached you, or you don't have any communication from the company after joining, you can go and ping them on Teams, or take their number and approach them. This is a situation question that I had got, but this was just what I thought on the spot. After coming back, I thought of a lot of answers. So there's no shortcut. So you just have to keep on practicing and like think of as many questions as you can before the actual interview.
all right. Thank you. My next question for you is, how strong does one need to be in statistics or analytics tool before joining the program?